All right, guys. So, I see a really beautiful energy in this. I think that you're making some shifts here on the material plane, right? We've got the fives, and look, the light is breaking through up here, and here the light is breaking through from the bottom. So, this is this connection with heaven and earth, even hell in a sense, right? This, because I do see underneath the, I have to show you this just because, it's like spirit is bringing this to you. Okay. it's all good. And there is light breaking through here. I want to see, this is, Archangel Michael, right? This truth is, the center of this reading. And I think this need to, we see this fire at the throat chakra here in the star, Aquarius energy, and this arrow, so that diamond on the lips, right? There's some expressing of truths that need to happen. And it might not necessarily be easy, right? We're going to have to be facing our shadow, because we have element of spirit, the shadow, Kali, Archangel Michael, and Prometheus, right? So, yeah. But also this is, kind of breaking through some illusion. We've got, this is like really beautiful. I just want to show you this underlying energy just to kind of, affirm, right, that all of this is going to go well. So we have Warrior 8, Dragonflight, right? And this is directing your intentions. Then this is Mercury. Once again, this is Mercury, right? There's this, which is communication, thought, analytical nature. Dancer 9, which is the 9 of Cups. Make a wish. Once again, intentions. Then we have Dancer 7. And this is Mars in Scorpio. This is Venus in Scorpio, right? That Venus in Scorpio, it's making some harmonious aspects, but I still think, there's that deep energy in Scorpio. And this is about, this is bringing up relationship issues, right? Black Moon Lilith is conjunct, or almost exactly. They're conjunct, Uranus in Taurus, right? Which is retrograde. So there are some of that shadow feminine, some of that, just relationship, right? And those kind of like shadow sides of ourselves that we're kind of have to looking at the truth of that, right? I see this as part of this, looking at the shadow, facing these truths and expressing these truths. And that is the end of a cycle. Once again, this is, Sun in Gemini, the High Priestess, right? That really looking deep within it, but we see this beautiful rainbow being, emerging from that, uncovering truths, looking beyond the veil. Warrior 3, alignment, right? Everything is coming into alignment for this. Strength card. Once again, we have, this on the back of a dragon, right? Finding power in those dragons, those kind of, I'm almost feeling like, our shadow can be our strength as well, but we have to look at it, right? Warrior 5, Saturn in Leo. Once it, this is what's holding us back, but facing those, we find the sun, right? So, yeah, looks like in your physical world, because we have these 2 5s, there are shifts are happening, and they're not necessarily easy, right? But they're bringing in light. And then above here, look, I mean, we've got the Emperor and the Star, right? This is like the more ethereal realms. You're really creating your future. So these shifts are actually creating your future, right? Helping you send out your intentions. All right. So I just wanted to kind of go over all that before I really get into the cards. All right. So yes, I mean, like, I just want to point out, you know, I do see a soulmate of a very high level, whether you want to call that a twin flame, you know, and it does kind of, you know, I worry about people mistaking that, right? This is someone that matches you on an energetic level. I want to make sure that, you know, and this is someone that is lifting you up, right? Rather than bringing you down. So if someone has hurt you, right, maliciously, right, you know, because sometimes we hurt people and we don't necessarily intend it. Yeah, they're probably not your twin flame, right? But, you know, even in this Ace of Air, we have the twin mountains. We have these twin paths coming together here, right? And that's how I feel. I feel like, you know, we've got these dragons looking at each other. We have these twin butterflies, the transformation that's going on with both of you, right? I just really get that strongly, especially with the Emperor being here. But yes, I don't know that it's, you know, this is the heart of it. This is all about truth, speaking truth, seeking truth, right? And that we have these weird aspects going on with Neptune. So it's like holding on to that inner truth, right? What you know to be true, not letting yourself be swayed by new information that is kind of illusionary, because I think we're going to, and it's, you know, that Virgo energy is kind of making us question ourselves. So, you know, this is all about holding on to that truth. And I don't really see that affecting you so much. This feels very strong. I mean, yes, there are some shadow things going on, but, and some of those could have to do with your confidence, but I don't really feel that so much. So in the past, you know, this Warrior 9, I feel like you've really, you know, I'm drawn to this like circle around him that's like projecting outwards, and it's making this kind of I want to say envelope around, I guess it is. So there's like been this protection of your energy. It's kind of isolation. I think you've been focused on your journey, right? You're focused on what you're creating. And yeah, because I see these 3 flames here, right? Creation, growth, and protecting that path, protecting your energy. And but it's been difficult, right? Yeah, this star up here, following that path, following that inner guide. It hasn't been easy. I feel like you have come into this period feeling rather weary, battle weary, right? You know, you still have this sword out. You know, you're kind of going within with it. You're pointing it at yourself too. But that sword is there, right? It's ready for battle. So we'll go here to where you're setting your intentions, right? And I feel like this is, you know, it's like I get two things with it, right? Warrior 2. I feel like you're speaking, you know, you're using that voice, and your voice is strong and powerful, right? With that power awakes. Yeah, you've got a diamond on your lips. It's like, so be careful of those words, right? Because they are creating, right? With this Emperor here, you know, these swords here, right in the center, and this abundance card here, right? This is a period where you're creating your future, right? Even underneath, we have that energy. So be careful, right? That's part of this air energy, is the need to really, you know, think, and this responsibility, this maker 2 here, right? To think about really what you want to create. And yeah, there's this, you know, and I do get that twin flame vibe, like you're wanting to speak love, right? Speak your desire. There's putting your voice into a creative project. All right, I'm seeing a lot here, but that your voice is very powerful, and it's very it's creative, inspired, right? Earth is also the divine masculine, and the Emperor, and the divine masculine. So I think you're feeling really, and that it's the right side of your brain too, right? Is the masculine side. So that's really coming alive. It's really feeling its power. And that's that part of that Aries, Mars and Aries, right? Aries here, moving forward. And it's gaining some momentum. And there is, you know, these changes need to be made in order to, and we are feeling that shift, that very palpable shift, I think, with this new moon eclipse in your sign, which adds up to a 5, right? All right. Okay. So yeah, you know, I'm really getting this, both of these vibes, right? This spirit element here, and the shadow with Kali. And it's so funny, you know, I clear these decks. So, you know, I lay out 7 little piles, and I go through each time I use them, even on my own. And these 2 cards, these 2 same cards came out for, who was it? I'm trying to think, because I kind of think it's important. For some reason, Libra keeps coming on. No. It was Scorpio. Yeah, it was Scorpio. Yeah. And you all are the one, both in Scorpio and Sagittarius had me sounding like a demon last time. I think there's like this, this kind of, and it's funny because I have my 2 sisters are a Scorpio and a Sagittarius. My blow up that I just had was with my Sagittarian sister. And, yeah, so yeah, there is that possibility there. And I felt like that was definitely part of why, you know, yes, I needed to do that because these shifts are happening, but also that there's this energy that has to be kind, you know, it's like it has to be faced. You know, this Kali dance, which we see here, you know, Kali destroys, you know, we see this fire energy of the Emperor, and yeah, we see, well, we'll get to that in a second, but the petals falling, right? Petals falling. This is Yeah, I'm really getting that there's something from your past that you have to, it's like, there might be some truth that needs to be spoken, some conversation that needs to happen to kind of clear the air, to really like let go. There might be an actual physical, some of you have let go, so others might still be needing to, this might still be something that's in the works, or just the final stages of that, because this flower has been picked, right? And the petals are starting to fall away. It's dying. And that's what you're releasing. There's new growth, right? One of these beams is shining on this new growth down here. And this, voice, right? This fire in the throat chakra here that's radiating waves, right? You know that you have to voice some of these truths that in order to create the future you want, right? I think that this is you listening to your inner guide. I think it's about speaking your truth, speaking those wishes, and it's creating, we have that wish fulfillment. The star, right, is about wish fulfillment. It's about healing, and what you're voicing, even if it might be hard at first, it is healing. I'll get back to this in a minute. Kind of going against my usual way of doing things. But, once again, we see these leaves falling, right? Something, you're making changes in your physical reality. Things are falling away. But we also see all of this abundance, right? He's creating, and she's reaching out her hand. See, we have both of these, it's almost in a very different way, right? They're in very different places, right? She's the naked tree, completely naked, kind of waiting for this rebirth, right? And he's all fired up, but she's also creating, right? And this is from, going down into the underworld to face those, or this is happening because that's happened, right? To face those kind of demons, that shadow side, and that brings light, right? It's chasing these clouds away. The clouds are clearing here. And this, I'd really, this could definitely be some kind of business, right? Taking charge, creative energy, all of that. But even more than that, I'm just feeling like this connection with spirit, this connection with that that divine masculine, right? Within yourself, and creating this life that you want, and making the changes that are absolutely necessary. This is, it's in the emotions, but I feel like this is the emotions. It's, these are changes in your relationships, right? This is changes. So it's interesting that we got, the earth, the dancer 5 in the earth element, and the maker 5 in the water element, right? They're switched.